The reading that we're going to share with you today gives a chronology for the volcanic eruption which occurred on May 18th and which would be 30 years ago in 1 month. The following information will enhance or further the knowledge that you learned from the poem and the videos that we've already shared with you. Listen as I read about Mount St. Helens, the most famous active volcano in our country. Before white settlers arrived, the Native Americans considered Mount St. Helens a sacred place. The mountain was given several names by the local natives, including Ta-Won-La-Claw, Fire Mountain, and Loo-Wit, Keeper of the Fire. Captain George Vancouver spotted the mountain and named it after his friend, the British ambassador to Spain, Lord St. Helens. I appreciate that the author shared the names and translations given to the mountain by the natives, Fire Mountain and Keeper of the Fire, as I know are great names for Mount St. Helens. That broadened my background knowledge. I did not recognize the name George Vancouver, but I can draw a conclusion from this text that he was an explorer of the Northwest Territories. Mount St. Helens is one of the several volcanic peaks that make up the Cascade Range in the Pacific Northwest. It is a part of the Pacific Ring of Fire found on both sides of the Pacific Ocean. It is located in Washington State, about 50 miles north of Portland and 96 miles south of Seattle. It was once the 5th highest peak in Washington. Its appearance was compared to Mount Fuji in Japan. At first I thought the Pacific Ring was located in the ocean, but this passage describes that the ring extends inland to Washington and Oregon. I want to know the similarities between Mount St. Helens and Mount Fuji that's found in Japan. Melting snow from the mountain emptied into serene Spirit Lake at its base. Streams from the mountain also fed 3 main river systems, the Toutle, the Lewis, and the Kalama rivers. And when I was reading about Mount St. Helens being a serene lake, I recalled from the video that Spirit Lake was the home of Harry Truman, the man who refused to leave his home when the volcano erupted. Earthquake activity was first detected in March of 1980. Thousands of small earthquakes signaled that the volcano was awakening. A bulge on the north side of the mountain was growing. Eruptions of steam were seen nearly every hour that month. Government officials set up a 10-mile red zone around the area to limit tourist activity. By May of 1980, Mount St. Helens began to tremble. On May 18, 1980, the tranquil beauty of Mount St. Helens was shattered. Volcanologist David Johnston was on duty at his monitoring station about 6 miles away. "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it," were his last words at around 8:21 a.m. on the morning of May 18th. An earthquake with a magnitude of 5.1 had cut loose the mountain's north slope. Johnson had witnessed the largest landslide in recorded history. The mixture of earth, ice, snow, and water created mud flows that rushed down the mountain at 150 miles per hour. That once pristine Spirit Lake was filled with a mountain of mud and ash. The mud flows traveled 14 miles along the North Fork of the Toutle River. Toppled and sheared fir trees look like giant toothpicks strewn across a gray landscape.